Powered by Riverside.
Hey, welcome back to our next episode. I know we're live on YouTube, so we'll just get it going. There's no edits here going for it. All right, welcome back to the next episode of the World's Beautiful Game podcast. We'll be dissecting and discussing the 27-man roster Pochettino has selected for the U.S. national team for these upcoming friendlies. As always, I'm Goose, and my co-host Will. We'll be breaking it down. We'll talk about the inclusions and who wasn't brought on and everything in between. So, ready to get started, Will?
I'm ready. Let's see what we can freaking dissect here.
All right, perfect. So, obviously, as you can see, I got the kit in. It's fitting a little snug, not the way I like it. The Adidas one fits a little looser. But that's fine. Hoping to shed some pounds going forward so I can keep wearing this baby boy. But back at it for discussion part 2. I know in the last episode, we kind of were trying to figure out who would or would not be called in. We finally now have that 27-man roster. It's one more than what you usually see for this camp, but it is the World Cup year, so I guess they don't really care since they are friendlies. And either way, England apparently called in like 85 people to their team, so hey, at least we were one better. I did see before we start talking about there was one change to the roster. Celentano is no longer in. They brought in Schulte because for precaution, he didn't play the last game for his club team. So that's one change that did happen. So as we start, I don't know how you feel about that, Will. I don't think it matters with the goalkeepers because I'm pretty sure we know who the starter's probably going to be. But what do you think about that one, you being a goalkeeper?
Well, those are the two guys I think I talked about last week. I said Brady and Schulte, so I was a little surprised to see that he wasn't the first one in over Celentano, but it looks like he's back now. Yeah, again, it's just more competition, more training for when they're there to push each other to see. It's the World Cup, so I'm sure they're going to do everything in their power to even try to start. So at least that'll push the keepers to do well and kind of push it when the World Cup time comes. So that way they can actually, um, play at their best.
Do you
So
think he's going to give time to anyone other than Freeze?
no, maybe Turner. Again, Turner pulls an Ochoa and decides to show up for the World Cup, and he's the one that stands out the most. I mean, I can. Yeah, we'll see. I guess with these two games, who plays? I'm assuming we'll see what type of rotation he does with the keepers. Because at this point, I guess he's maybe only gonna play 2, maybe 3, switch him at half, but probably see what they do in training to see if that's what they're gonna go with. So I would say, yeah, they have a little bit of time left to kind of show in that position who's gonna be the guy between the sticks. So should be fun.
Yeah, we'll see. And then interesting to note, both games will be at Atlanta Stadium. I'm assuming natural grass and all that jazz.
Well,
Yeah,
that's where their
both
home
games.
complex is. I think I know they do.
It
Yeah.
is. It
So
is. Yeah. It is there. But still, I'd think they would do it in two different places. I almost wish I can. You're close, man. You can try to
I
go to a game.
I
Have
was
you
I
have you
was
looked for
I,
tickets?
I was gonna go. I was thinking about it. The wife wanted to go see Ronaldo.
He's not
And
playing.
exactly. So then she was like, I don't care. And I was like, well,
No, it's the next best thing, Bruno.
yeah, I wanted to go. I mean, I thought about it, but yeah, just too much of a drive, 7-hour drive. Too tired for that right now.
So, have you taken a look at the rosters? I know, we were looking over Belgium's because that's the first matchup that's coming up. Anyone surprising there? Anybody you think is going to be scary for the U.S. as we go into that game?
Belgium is just kind of on paper they're scary, but then when it comes time to play, it's just I don't know what happens to them because naturally they have. I mean, shout outs to Lemons. You know, he should be. He should. I think he'll play against the U.S. So we've obviously, as United fans, we see. We've seen him, and he's obviously pretty quality. So it'll be good. A good.
Wait, who?
Lemons.
Oh yeah, it's our goalkeeper. I was like, oh
Yeah.
yeah. I thought you
Um,
said Landon. I'm like, what the
yeah,
hell does
yeah,
Landon have to
yeah.
do anything? Oh,
No.
um,
But as far as in the stakes, and as far with the guys, Doku is going to be probably the most dangerous one to face against, which is perfect because that's the type of explosive player that, as much as I hate City, I have to respect Doku's game because I think he's probably the one that stands out of all of them, just because of that. Naturally, we have a few guys in the Premier League that have seen him, so they'll, but that doesn't mean that they can keep up with him. So
I
he's
think
gonna
it's
push it.
I think there's a few. I mean, just looking over real quick, Onana for not the goalkeeper, the midfielder for was he on Villa
Yeah.
now?
Oh,
He's
Amadou.
strong player in the middle. I think he's pretty good. And Trossard for Arsenal, he can be dangerous too. I just don't know if him and Doku start together because they both play the same position. So that's an interesting one. Lukaku up top, is he's their main striker? That
Should be. He's
they
been playing well in the Premier League.
this in the
City.
Italian league. And then Tillemans just got back for Villa. Also, he's been injured. De Bruyne. I mean, whatever he winds up doing. So we'll see. We'll see. That's obviously the threat, right? The threat is that pass from De Bruyne, and then like you said, Doku just shredding up whoever's on that side because depending on who winds up playing on that side with no Dest, it's if Freeman plays. I don't want to see Scally, to be honest. I think he's going to get burned if he plays on that side. I'd be a little surprised, but I know with Freeman, there's that the fact that he goes forward so much, it can kind of be dangerous for us to have him playing on that side. So I'm curious who he winds up starting on that side. I can even see Weah playing, even though he's listed as a what forward, playing that wing back. Even maybe I don't know McKennie. What do you think? Who's the biggest guy we or who's the guy we have to protect us on that side from Doku?
It's tough to say. I don't really think we have. Jedi
He's on the other side.
is on the other side, so he's not going to be tasked to play him there. So on the left side, I don't even know. I'm assuming
Interest,
he'll play Trusty.
but he plays. He's left footed. He's gonna play on Jedi side, so it'd be
Yeah, but I don't think if
Richards.
it. Yeah, well, I would assume he's gonna try Freeman on the left side because if Jedi's playing, obviously Freeman's not gonna play on the right side. Um, so
No, if Jedi, no, Jedi is definitely playing on the left side. He's definitely not playing on the right.
oh, sorry, yes, on the left side. So
Um,
Freeman's gonna play on the right side, but Doku, I mean, Doku plays on the right side, so he would be against Jedi.
I think the only thing I could see happening is in a 4-5-1, which is whatever his formation he's playing 3-4-3,
Yeah,
whatever. I think for that game, Way is gonna play on that right side, as like the outside winger, midfielder, whatever the case
yeah,
is, to protect Freeman if Freeman starts. To me, I don't see anyone if it's not Dest. I don't see why you don't play Freeman there, regardless of how many minutes he's played for his club team. Because I think he's only played like 20 minutes in his games in this new year with Villarreal. I gotta think that him two threats you're gonna have on that side to counter Doku is got to be Weah with Freeman, right? Because Weah can cover, and then whoever plays in those two spots in front of the defenders can also protect them on that side. Obviously, at that point, you just have to hope you don't get burned also by De Bruyne in the middle, attacking a space that's going to be left when Doku keeps coming and just shredding whoever's on that side. So I think that test is going to be really interesting. Do you have any predictions score wise for that game or starting 11? You think that's going to work best for the U.S.?
um, starting 11. That's the thing. I don't know what he wants to do. I don't know if he wants to continue to experiment. That's the biggest problem that we have. Either there's experiments, there's or are we pretty much having a solidified team with ones and twos, tweaking them to see who's going to play, who's going to possibly get onto the roster, who's getting game time. Like he said, there's nobody on this roster solidified. So, with that being said, does that mean that technically, I guess we don't have a starting lineup? So then, what is he doing? So that's the hardest part. That I just feel like we're one of the few countries that just never has a dedicated team.
You think that's a good or bad thing at this point?
Terrible. I think it's absolutely terrible because every team, they know each other because they're coming to get from different places, different play styles and everything. And at least when they come to the national team, they know how those guys play. But if you have one guy this match and then you have another guy and then the next camp there's new guys, I think it's absolutely terrible. Um,
Are you one of those that feels like we should be using the same team for both games, like with minimal changes, or do you think because of the short turnaround, it just like a few guys here and there instead of like a whole team change?
well, yeah, I mean, I think they should I think in both games it should be pretty much the same team, and then having guys come on, maybe play 35, 40 minutes that are pretty much on the fringe or possibly coming in or not. Those guys would be the ones that I would put in, but pretty much two separate games. You got your chance. Unless you really showed out in the first game, I would play you again just to make sure to see if that's what you're doing. And then the next game, again, those other guys that we don't know if they're going or not, but I would pretty much go with the starting squad because again, those are two good teams. So you want to see your best um your best team going forward. I'm pretty sure Belgium's going to go with the typical starters, and so is Portugal. And then ones or twosies here getting tried out, and then eventually come other guys coming in as subs and see how the team flows. But I'm pretty sure that their starting lineup is not going to be like, oh, these guys don't usually play. So
Do you
that's what I
think?
want to see.
Are you thinking you don't want to see any more experimentation? You just want to see whatever the guys that he wants to see as his starting 11 first game come the World Cup? My only reason for asking that question is because these two matchups, great tests to see where you're at, but not the same teams you're going to be playing in your group stage, right? So this is more to see where you're at come knockout stages if you can make it past the first round. Because Australia and Paraguay, as we saw, two teams that are going to sit deep, two teams that are going
Hit
to just
hard.
counter and hit hard. I don't think you're going to get a lot of that besides maybe like Lukaku beating up our defenders.
And not
Maybe
even, yeah.
yeah, and not much more than that because even he doesn't he somewhat plays that way. Richards will probably try to tussle with him, but I don't see that being the game playing there either with Portugal either. That game you're not going to have that. Although if Portugal does play a little more, I think even when they changed, they they seem to sit back still and counter. But still, that's an even more difficult opponent. Like we're talking about, you know, La Liga top EPL top style team like that. That team is crazy. That's my pick for the World Cup to win. So two good tests. I think we could beat Belgium. I have that prediction at 2-1. And then Portugal we could talk about after, but that's who I have for that game because I can see us having like a light under our asses to go out and try to get a result. I think I think we may go down early, but we may kind of claw back before halftime, and then hopefully score that winner in the second half. Unsure who gets the goals, but 2-1 is what I have as my prediction. What do you think for the Belgium game?
I think it'll be a tie. I will say 2-2.
Mm.
Yeah, as much as I hate ties, obviously I think anybody hates ties. As the saying goes, it's like kissing your sister, so nobody wants that. Um, yeah, I'd say 2-2 against them, and I think we lose against Portugal just because maybe 1-0, 2-1 tops because that's just what Portugal does. They don't score a lot, but they will make it very hard to score.
I don't know. I have that game. I have 3-2 Portugal winning that one. I think we can score some goals, but I think they can beat us. Those one-on-one players between Bruno, Vitinha, and even João Neves, like you're talking about like some heavy hitters coming our way where those two center defensive midfielders are going to have to do a lot of work and they're going to one bad like Ream. To me, I wouldn't play Ream in the second game. I would play Ream in the first game if you're going to play him, but not that second game because I think on any of those 1-2s, he's going to get beat every single time. Unfortunately, like he's amazing with reading the game and timing, but you can't beat a 1-2. 1-2's like if you don't have that other guy next to you. I know Jedi protects them and they have some good chemistry from Fulham when they were there together, but at the same time, they haven't been playing for a while together. And you're talking about movement of the ball. You know how it goes, man. The ball moves way quicker than anybody can keep up with. So that's my only fear. Like I would play him in the first game. Although I will say at this point, like you, I kind of want to see the team that's going to be the team that plays for the World Cup, kind of. I am a little worried about kind of showing our cards, but at this point, like that shouldn't matter. It should just be getting the guys that you think are going to make the biggest impact in those first few games. That's where that's where my head's at for lineup. So I'll tell you my lineup. I have Jedi, Trusty, Richards, Freeman to start in the back with Tessman and Cardoso in the defensive mid. If Johnny well, no, let him get his opportunity now because he's been shit, and if he doesn't do well these next 2 games, then I'm okay with him either not being on the roster or just sitting on the bench because if Tyler is healthy, that's probably going to be there anyway. I want to see McKennie play the 10 with Pulley and Tillman on the outsides, with the ability to come inside with Balogun up top. That's who I has as my 11 for that game. Kind of hope that's what he does. I feel like that would be great. But now that we're talking through it, maybe instead of Tillman, way on that side just to protect Freeman because of those runs that they both can interchange with. Because I think that would be what you need to kind of keep pace with what Doku's going to do.
Yeah, I'm pretty much on par with that. I'd like to see Miles Robinson play with uh, with Chris Richards. Obviously, is Chris Richards without a doubt. I mean McKenzie too. That's haven't seen enough of him to know to see. But again, if Tim Ream, like you said, he reminds me of Jay Demerit.
Yeah,
Shout outs.
just
Just longevity.
not as crazy though.
No, exactly. But
That
the
motherfucker was crazy.
experience, yeah, the experience, and he played. And so he knew how to read the game. Other than he wasn't as aggressive as him. But uh, so yeah, I don't know how he's going to do in the World Cup. Again, I think against the teams that we have in our group stage, he should be fine. And he's one of the tougher guys, so I think that'll help for those teams. But against Belgium and Portugal, I don't see it working out too well because of the speed and the movement and the play of the game. Obviously, he knows how to read the game, but if he's going to be able to catch up uh, on a breakaway or anything like that, um, yeah, I'd like to see Miles Robinson and Chris Richards. Obviously, the two outside backs I'm fine with, and I want to see Roldan actually in there starting because I think he's earned it.
I was back and forth on Roldan because I want to see him too.
I think he's got the experience. I think he's earned it. I think
I
he's
think it's caught the
helped
eye.
when
He's caught the eye of Pochettino is the important part, right? Like you
yeah.
said, no one has a guaranteed place, but if anyone has cemented themselves with character and just a great ability on the field to do multiple things, he's definitely done that. And I don't hate that shout. I kind of had I had to redo this several times because I Johnny's playing Champions League.
I like it. Trust me, I like
just
Johnny,
want to see
and
him do well, and I think that's all it is.
I always liked Johnny, and I always thought he was a great choice. But when he comes onto the national team, it's like he's a shadow of himself. I don't know what role he's trying to play or what he's trying to do. And I've even tried to watch like his off ball work because sometimes people just don't notice what he does off the ball, but it's not influential. So I don't think.
Yeah, he looks nervous. He looks like
I don't know. Yeah,
he's
doesn't look like he
lost.
plays for one of the biggest teams,
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
world. So,
But that's why I
want
want
him to
him in
succeed.
there.
Yeah,
That's why I want him in there because I want to see if, like, with the recent Champions League games he's played in, he scored a banger, not but 3 games ago in the Champions League, right outside the box. So, he looks like he has that McKennie instinct, right, where he can come in late and have an impact in when we're attacking the box, which is great. But at the same time, he cannot have those mistakes where he gives the ball away and puts us on the back foot. Like I said, that's my only caveat with him. I do want to see him start with Tessman because I think Tessman, strong guy, good on the ball, sees the field well, and he'll sit back to give. Maybe that's what we needed. We need someone to sit back because with Adams, when he was playing with Adams, Adams tends to roam and kind of like is like searching for who to like beat the shit out of, um, just to win the ball back. And maybe that's what we need is someone that'll sit back a little more and let Johnny kind of play more of an 8 as opposed to a 6. So I'm curious to see how that plays out with him starting if that's who starts.
Yeah, I mean, with all these names, like I said, because Berhalter I like a lot too, because Berhalter's the same way. He's aggressive and he goes in and he doesn't back down. So those are guys that you're gonna want against Australia, you know. And so it's tough. Like I said, I mean, you could pretty much name everybody, but yeah, who? And that's the thing. Until I see it, and I won't be surprised. Only person I'd be surprised, I guess, if Aiden Morris starts, because I don't see him as a starter at all in the World Cup. Not that he's bad, but he just hasn't. And from that point, yeah, and up top, I mean, I'm going with Balogun.
That's
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 my
what I have.
striker there.
Yeah, I mean,
That's my
I
striker.
don't think that's a question now. Whether he's done against PSG in the last
Yeah,
few games in the
I
Champions League
and I do want to see Aronson in there because he's been playing great for Leeds.
to
He's
start.
been no, you could bring him off the bench. So not as a starter, but yeah, no, naturally, Pulley for me, he's our captain again. He pulls all he did our distractions and everything. And as much as sometimes it seems like he's not doing the work, you have seen him off the ball where he's getting beat up even off the ball where he's not on it. And I don't think our guys are doing enough to protect our captain where they can, where other teams are like, you know what, we can pick at him, we can go for him, and nobody's stepping up to protect him. So that's why I think he can do a lot more, but typically any game he plays for the U.S., he's getting beat up
Yep.
quite often. So
I
that's
think
the only reason that,
everyone's seen the Concacaf games and they're like, oh, we know
yeah.
what'll keep him from playing his best game. I
So
think that is probably what's happening, to be honest. But I hear you. I think I've been kind of tossing it around because with the five, like I want to see more attacking because that's what I assume will put us in a better position, right? If we're putting the game to the other team and not just sitting back absorbing. That's why I had those. You know, maybe Tillman comes out and like a Berhalter goes there instead because, like you said, they chase, they fight, they do the dirty work that some of the other players won't do, and that's what Roldan does too. But Roldan has a good eye going forward also. So those passes that kind of we don't see, and that's my one gripe with Adams when he plays with the U.S. national team because he doesn't do this with Bournemouth, which kind of annoys me a little bit when he's with the U.S., he'll get the ball and he'll play a easy, simple pass like backwards, sideways, like none going forward. That's the only thing that I don't like when Adams is playing. Sometimes is way too careful. I don't expect you to be Bruno, but at the same time, like you're a professional player, plays in the Premier League on a team that's pretty good. Do the same thing. Like don't try to play it safe because you don't want to make mistakes, and that's like I feel like these players like Pulley, Tillman, McKennie, they're players that are like to be creative, like to go forward, like to find pockets, like to test something out to see if they can get a ball to Balogun because you need the guys that are going to find because this is early on why Balogun I think was struggling was the lack of getting those passes when he made those runs. You remember when Rashford used to do this a lot for United, constantly make runs and never get the ball. Like that's what was happening to Balogun in the beginning, and I think why you need some of those other players in to start is or like a Gio, right? Gio will find that pass. He will look for that pass, even if he doesn't make it, he'll try it. Um, Again, I with all this said, there are players that I want to see also involved in these next two games Pepe, Gio, Roldan, Berhalter, as you mentioned. And I want to see Arfston too, because
yeah,
Jedi
he made a good case.
Jedi's been injured and he's only recently now been playing more minutes.
Yeah,
But I feel like that's another guy that we maybe want to see more of just so that we have that backup plan just in case Jedi something happens to Jedi. We already lost Des, who knows if he'll be back. But we don't want to have that thing where we're only relying on one player because in all other places on the field we now have options. Maybe center back not so much, but I think for these games we got to see them come in 30 minutes at least each game, something like that, because you don't also want to wear Robinson out, especially if he's just
Which,
coming back.
speaking of our center backs, I want to definitely touch on. I don't know why Landon's so butthurt about um, pretty much
Please
dual national
stop.
players.
Oh God.
I just wanted to bring it up because like I don't know like why he's so like
When he's a
I don't know
dual
what
national.
I don't know what his issue is at the end of the day, anyways. Because like I saw and people even commented, all right, so if you have an issue with the German kid, which if he wants to play for Germany, for the most part, he grew up in Germany. It's understandable, and Germany's a big team. If they say, oh, well, and obviously, I think Lalas made a comment too, which obviously we all know
I mean,
he
that's why we
is
don't. That's why we don't watch
Lawless
him.
is like, yeah, it's like listening to, yeah, anyways. Um, but at the end of the day, if that's the case, then why is Dest on the team? Then why is half the players
Robinson.
Balagoon? Yeah, Jedi's not even technically. Yeah, exactly. He just wanted to play, and so we have a good chunk of our roster. So I just hate those comments. Like if they go play somewhere else, understandable, especially especially like because they're I'm pretty sure they're like military kids and typically Germans. They grew up over there. It's the same thing. If they were, yeah, their parents are from one thing. It's kind of like us. Obviously, our parents born in Guatemala, and if I had the choice to play for
And
the U.S., I was
honestly,
raised here.
we're
I'd want
not
to play
the
here. But
we're not the
if
only country in the world that does it. Everyone else
no,
does it. Brazilians playing in
yeah,
Spain. Freaking
Brazilians playing in Portugal,
yeah, like
Deco,
yeah.
Pepe, like you know what I mean. Like you talk about big time players, that were good. They didn't play for their native country, so I don't understand why people get upset when the U.S. Well, obviously we're still building and we're still trying to make, but
It's
we're not Brazil, we're not Germany. So for you to, if you have a choice to play for Brazil, Germany, Argentina, and it's kind of hard to pass up. You know what I mean? Like,
I will say I've always been a little butthurt with what's his name, Italy,
yeah, Giuseppe Rossi.
Giuseppe Rossi.
Yeah,
I've hated that one because especially because he was a United kid,
yeah, but
and then
he
like
was able to play
I
for
know he
Italy,
played,
which World
yeah.
Cup winning team, and you know what I mean. Like that's yeah, it sucks, and it's just like man. But at the same time, again, if you had a kid
It
born in
always irked me
Brazil,
though. It always
yeah,
irked me. It
yeah,
was
and he's from
annoying.
Jersey. I mean, he's from Jersey. What do you expect? People from sorry, no,
Hey,
I'd say no
relax.
offense, but
Tony Miola's from Jersey. Relax.
yeah, that's one of
It's
the
your idol.
respectable guys. I love Tony Miola,
There's
but
a lot of those guys are from Jersey, to be honest.
yeah, but Jersey, yeah,
With the
yeah,
U.S. national
anyways,
team.
but what do you expect?
Now for the Portugal game, what do you expect for lineup?
Like
What do you want to see
again,
for lineup? I want to see Pepe start.
I don't want to see changes. Again, I want to see coming in half and then again getting 20, 30 minutes, I think is plenty of time because that's pretty much your chance to show what you've got. So at that point, I want to see the same lineup and then just changes coming in because naturally that's, start the game, start with the flow with the team that you want to have chemistry already building in from the previous game, and then bring in, sure, even if you want to play them halftime, take them out of halftime. Cool. But at least you still get the same guys going in. So that's what I want to see. Is it going to happen? Probably not. But
From Poach, what we've seen lately is that he will rest players that have something going on in their club teams respectively, which cool.
Cardoso is one of the biggest ones because obviously
Yeah.
he's still in Champions League.
Um,
Um,
McKenny was, but I don't know. I don't remember if Juve's in the title fight. I don't think they're up there. They may be, maybe not. But I mean, he's doing well. And then Balogun, I
Pulisic
think
and
are they second in the league in league on? I don't even remember. But I don't know. I've been trying to follow, but I really don't care
yeah.
too much about those leagues. But yeah,
I mean,
no,
hey, listen, I you can't say that anymore because they've been whooping the Premier League's ass. So that's been
I that's for the next episode. Let's not even go there. Okay. Well, I know oh no, you didn't give a score prediction for Portugal, right? Or what was
yeah, I
your
did.
score prediction? Oh,
I said 2-1. Like you said, but the only thing that would I guess would make me second guess that is because Ronaldo's not playing. So that means Portugal will play much better because just like, they I feel like they play freer. They don't have to worry about I need to get the ball to Ronaldo. And again, Ronaldo's not Ronaldo anymore. So um obviously the man still puts in work and you respect the hell out of what he does. But they still want to try to play through him and him as the main source, and you can't do that with that Portugal team. So being that he's not playing, it could change. It could be 4-2. Do we score 2 goals? I don't see us beating Portugal because Portugal for me is a top team. And again, we don't have an identity, so it's hard to beat a team that's pretty set in their ways, that has the team going forward. That's just our biggest thing, and that's why as much as I want the U.S. to make it to the final, we're just pretty much we don't even have a solidified team yet. We can't even be like, all right, this is who we're playing, and these are the possible guys that'll get minutes in. No, it's all right, who's starting? It's that. So
Well, our best bet is if Dalot starts because Dalot's terrible.
the
But then on the other side, Nuno Mendes, like that's a tough one. Mateus Nunes, I don't think he'll start over Mendes. Who are their center backs? I don't.
Ruben Diaz.
No, he's not. He's not. He wasn't
Is he
called.
hurt?
Oh no, he wasn't called in.
I didn't double check.
No, the defenders look like it's Nunes, Dalot, Cancelo, Mendes, Inacio, Vega, Silva, and Araujo. I actually don't know most of those guys. Surprisingly,
True. I
maybe
have
that'll
no
give us.
clues.
Maybe we can score 2 goals. Honestly, it's just gonna be a matter of if we can even see the ball. I think that's gonna be
Yes.
the hardest part in that game is the battle of the midfield, and their midfield is way better than our midfield. I don't care what anyone wants to pretend to say. You talk about world class Champions League winners, Ballon d'Or nominees, like those guys. Those guys are. That's a dangerous squad. Um, uh, I'm worried about that game for sure. I guess up top, I mean Leao, Neto, who's not having the best moment. Jao Felix, I guess, but I'm surprised he's even called in playing where he's playing. Trincao, Conceição, he plays well when he comes in for Juve. Uh, some of the other guys I would have to look. I haven't really seen them, but
I'd
it's
like
that
to
it's a midfield for me, man. Talking about Neves, Vitinha, Fernandez, and then Ruben Neves, who's I know he's in the Saudi league, but he's still quality. Samu Costa, are you familiar with him?
try to pull up, but apparently my phone decided to not pull up that roster at all. Okay, there we go. Finally.
Fox Sports one
Da-dum-dum.
had posted one not long ago, so you
Yeah, I
should
see.
find that one.
But no, I see it. Well, because you said, yeah, I mean, João Cancelo too is probably starting over Dalot. Um,
You think? Where's he playing now? Where's he at?
Barca,
Is
he's
he
back at
playing?
Barca. Yeah, he plays.
I didn't think he was playing.
Yeah, he's definitely starting over Dalot. Um, yeah, Menge on the left side, and then I'd say Silva probably plays in the middle. Inacio, yeah. But again, either ways, they're still going to have a solid defense because Portugal's always, yeah, and obviously, like you said, talking in the middle, Bruno, Vitinha, Neves, and then you got Ruben as well, so just because Zhao. And then up top, I'd say probably Pedro Goncalves. Yeah, Trincao, I don't think has been playing too lately.
Do they play Leao or they play a false nine? Right, that's what they do. They probably have Leao on the left, and they probably have
I mean, they'll play if they play up
Gonzalez.
top. Ramos, Ramos will play up top. That's pretty much their one
Is he
striker.
in? Is he
Yeah,
in
he's there.
still?
He's the last. He's the last name on the
Oh,
roster.
I didn't see it come. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he's there. I mean, João Felix will pretty much play there. So again, they're all around there. They don't really have gaps, and obviously they're goalkeepers. Diego Costa is
Solid,
definitely a
not the
starter.
best. Solid,
What?
they're not world class anymore. I feel like they were way better a few years ago. Diogo Costa, Jose Sa.
Diego Costa's like 23 years old. He's still.
Am I thinking of the wrong one?
Yeah, because Diego Costa is the one that I wanted from Sporting to
Oh,
United, but
I'm thinking of the guy they had before. I thought same name. I thought he was the
no.
older one. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I mean, but so
You're talking about wasn't it Re Patricio is who you were talking about.
no. He's like
That was pretty much the last one, the last old one that was done. But yeah,
isn't Isn't
Diego
Diogo
Costa's
Costa the one that plays for?
Sporting.
What was he the one that was Atletico Madrid before? No, not Atletico Madrid.
No,
He was in La Liga before that, wasn't he?
no, Costa's been in Sporting. He's like 24 years old.
Or was it Porto? Did he switch clubs?
Mm-mm.
Maybe
Let
I'm
me
thinking
pull
of
it
a
up here,
different
but
one.
yeah, but
I mean, we'll see. To me, it's gonna be still the battle of that midfield to see if we can.
26 years old. That's why he's still young.
Oh no, it is the
Um,
one I'm thinking about then. But
no, he's been playing
I
for
don't.
Porto as long as I know. But he's still young, yeah, 26 years old. So he's not, yeah. No, I don't know who you're thinking about, but I mean, he's a solid. And like I said, I wanted him to go. Obviously, I'm definitely not upset with our choice of keeper now, but I think he's very solid. They're playing pretty well. Didn't they just get knocked out in the Champions League? Yeah, they just lost, right?
Sporting? No, they're still in it. They play Liverpool. They play Arsenal next.
Oh, they're still in? Okay. So
Yep.
yeah, exactly. It goes. I got ahead of myself, I guess, thinking they're eliminated already. My bad.
Well, no, they're gonna eliminate Arsenal, so that's fine.
Hey, I'm okay with that. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I
Well,
mean they beat that Bode, who shout out to
Glint
them because yeah, hey man, I thought
5-0.
I
They
thought
came. That's
yeah,
a hell of a comeback.
yeah. So, but yeah,
We got off topic.
yeah, off topic. But again,
The
I think
last two. There's four names I want to mention to you. Just tell me real quick what you think. So Sendejas Luna. Luna's out injured. That's why he's not in, or he had just come back. Sendejas weird not to be called in when he's playing really well for his club. Then Ajman, weird one. People like to fight me on this when I post on Instagram, and they're like, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about." I'm like, well, he's played like shit for the U.S. national team, so I don't know. And then you mentioned briefly Aronson because he's played well for Leeds, but last 12 games has not had Leeds hasn't scored in general, so struggle there. Just your thoughts on those four, because they were a big part of the last few games that have happened for the U.S. And they're two are called in, two are not called in. Thoughts?
I think Luna and Zendejas are the same player, so I don't think they're both going. I think they
Who
either
gets
you.
who gets left off?
I think he likes Luna a lot, so I think Zendejas gets left off because Zendejas played, but he didn't get too much time, and I like him too. But I think Luna's his go-to guy because he shows he's great, he's tough. Zendejas is calmer, not as like pit bullish. So I
He is,
guess,
but he's like a Chihuahua.
but yeah, so I
Chihuahua.
think Luna, yeah, just is when he had that broken nose and everything, he was just like whatever, wanted to keep playing. So he just
He's got
showed,
balls.
yeah, exactly, which I think he likes that. Um,
Man comes from the streets of
and then
Argentina.
so between those two, and then you're talking about between Aronson and Ajiman. I'm taking Aronson. Ajiman has shown shown up, I guess, in the U.S. Lately, and he scored that one goal in the World
He
Cup, I
he
guess.
had I
I just
my take on
personally, I
him
don't.
is he had 1.5 good games for the U.S. similar to Johnny Cardoso.
But that's more than Aronson for the U.S. So that's the problem. I like Aronson. I really want him to do well, but he hasn't. So I hope they both get to play so we can see what they got in these next two games. And that's, I guess we can talk about it after, at least after the first game. We'll really talk about and see, okay, what we saw, and then see, okay, at this point, who should go, who should stay, and then the next one. But yeah, that's who I'd go between those four, between there. I don't think he would take both Luna and Zendejas. I guess just because the roster space, I don't see who he would leave off if he took both of them. So I would say
Yeah, I
Luna.
mean the trade off is if you're taking Luna, you have to drop one of the guys that's there now. There's 27. I think it's 26. He can call in. That's the official
And then
number.
there's still guys that aren't going that
Yeah.
guessed.
So yeah, but we know for sure Des would be Scally. Scally's staying home. He's not going if Des is going. In the midfield, who would not go in the midfield if Luna's going? It's going to be Berhalter, Roldan, Gio of the ones that I mean, I don't know.
Testman, I don't think Testman's solidified either.
I think he's better than you may think. Like I've
I'm
seen
just saying
him.
I don't think he's solidified on the team, so I would say he'd be on the chopping block if that were to be the case. I mean, they still play different positions, but
Yeah, because then you also have Adams that's not here, who more than likely
Mhm.
healthy is coming in because he's a
Yeah,
rabid dog. Um,
exactly. Yeah.
but who else gets like Johnny gets the plug if he doesn't have a good showing? I'm guessing.
I don't, yeah, well, I guess so, but yeah, that would be just wild for, you know, yeah, just obviously his accolades alone and where he's at and where he's playing, and it's not like
And then you know
he's
who
not
else is
getting
not
those
here, right?
minutes.
Haji Wright's not here either. So
Yeah, so
um,
top exactly. So yeah, it's gonna be tough. Like I said, I mean, we have options, but we still haven't seen anybody. I don't think there's really anybody on the national team that's like this guy's bona fide starter, like other than Chris Richards. Honestly, for me, Chris Richards is really the only one that pretty much always shows out. Um, Jedi, but injury. So even barring all that, Chris Richards to me is the only guy on that team that is like yes. Other than that, Tim Ream, obviously love him, but and everything, but he's aging, so that's why even then, even him, I would question.
he's my age. Is crazy.
Yeah, yeah, but soccer wise, you know what I mean? Like that's
I know it's like
so.
50. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so that's why. But Chris Richards is really the only one on the team that I wouldn't question. Where I would be very upset if he was left off for whatever reason. But if anybody else gets left off,
No, I have a feeling he's the captain. To be honest, I
no, yeah,
think
but I'm saying
it
like if
feels to
anybody
me.
else gets left off, I'd be okay with it because we have a lot of options and we have guys that'll push the Gold Cup alone, show the grit and how players wanted to play and pretty much are like we're ready to step up. So
Four
that's
days. 4 days. See what happens. See what this U.S. team brings to the table.
you know,
We'll just call it there for today.
yeah.
I know that's it's a lot to talk about and lots for us to see too. Uh, we'll have a post game, maybe not after right after the game, but we'll definitely do an episode after once that game's done. But please be on the lookout for our next episode. We're gonna go talk about the EPL, a little bit about Champions League as well. But definitely, thank you for anyone that tuned in. I saw there was some comments there. Glad to see people enjoying the pod. But thanks, guys. Have a great next few days. Be on the lookout for our next pod. And
Hey, shout out to the Netherlands because I remember back in the day when we were doing the episodes, there was a few guys from the Netherlands watching. So if they start watching again, sorry, we'll talk about the U.S., but talk about more different ones.
yeah, no, for sure. I will see if we can get this out there again. But all right, well, till next time. Have a good.
Cool. See you. All right, guys.
Powered by Riverside.